Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a requested video. One of you lovely lot asked me if I would film a video about the best decks to get for kids. I've got a plethora of decks in front of me. So these are all tried and tested, well most of them are, with my kids. Basically you've got some issues. You don't want things to be too dark and scary for your kids. Also, if it's a tarot deck, there is a skill in reading a tarot. Oracle is easier, I've found, but it doesn't mean you don't have to exclude tarot. It just means the tarot needs to be supported. I'm going to start with one that's not going to surprise anybody, the Garden Dragons. This is the Field Guide to Garden Dragons. It is a deck by US Games System. This is probably our most favourite deck, and it's different in the fact that my girls and Busby's, I've got 2 girls and 1 boy, their ages are 15, 14 and 11, so that's the age range I'm in. But they, all of them, it's for boys and girls, they all love this deck. So it's easy to use. You've got a dragon that's linked to food. So this is a peach dragon, so you can kind of see the food in each dragon, which is really fun for the kids to see. And then you've got a really simple keyword, vulnerable. This is the avocado dragon, patience. So it's really fun to see the way the dragon is built from the food. So the turnip dragon, resilience. So this is a deck that you could literally just pull a card and that's it. You don't need anything else. The guidebook does expand a little bit on the meanings of the cards. So it tells you the habitat and where to watch out for this animal. So it adds a little bit of magic in, like this is where you can find it. This is where the type of place it likes to live. It tells you about the dragon and what it's like, so you get field notes. And then it also gives you a really simple, short, little extended meaning. So it's great for imagination. It's easy to use. You can add an adventure element of, say, building habitats for these dragons based on the field notes in the book. You could go searching for them. Really fun, lovely little deck. So that's my first recommendation. And we'll stick with the idea of mythical creatures because of course kids and some adults, kids love the idea of mythical creatures. So this is going to be no surprise. This is one I've spoken about as well. This is a Spirit and Destiny affirmation card deck. It's readily available online, second hand. I see it all the time. It's based on the elements. So you've got unicorns, earth, mermaids, water, dragons, fire, fairies, air. It doesn't come with a little book. Everything is just on the cards, and they're just affirmations, which is wonderful. So you might pull a unicorn card, you might pull a mermaid card, and the affirmations are things like, today I choose hope, I accept I will always face obstacles, I know I have the strength to overcome them. So they're really kid friendly affirmations that aren't twee, you know, there's some substance to them and they're just lovely. It's kind of a Disney feel to the imagery as well, which I think kids will relate to. This is a firm favourite in this house. We love it. So that's my second recommendation, the Mythical Creatures affirmation cards. So I think Mythical Creatures are a big win, but also any animal deck really. I think animal decks are great for kids. Now, I borrowed some of Poppy's decks with her permission to share because these are decks that she asked for when she was probably about 12. These were some of the decks that she liked. So animal decks. So I think this is one of the first ones. This is Colette Baron Reid, the Spirit Animal Oracle. And all of these, I mean, the production in this is absolutely beautiful. It's a magnetic box. It comes with quite a decent chunky guidebook. And all of these have been tried and tested, and I'll often walk into a room and she's got a few cards pulled out. This deck is gorgeous. Now, Mom has deck envy for these animal decks. It's a lovely animal deck. So you've got a message on the card, so the kid doesn't, you know, your child doesn't have to go to a guidebook if they don't want to. There is enough message just to use the card. So things like be playful, you know, that's enough. Or watch your words. And it's a parrot. I mean, how cool is that? Claim your independence, a cat spirit. Or see the big picture, for a giraffe that can see over the top of things. Learn from the past is the elephant, so that idea of having a fantastic memory and remembering lessons. You can see the way these work, and there's loads of cards in this deck. This is a 68 card deck, so you're getting a decent amount of cards there. And like I say, kids will always radiate, I think, towards animals. So Colette Baron Reid, the Spirit Animal deck, Animal Oracle, sorry, that's a real good one, I think, for kids, and it's been tried and tested in this house and it is really loved. Sticking with the idea of animals, the other oracle that Poppy chose for herself for some of her first decks was this Divine Animals Oracle. This is Rockport Publishing. It's by Stacie Demarco. Now, there are 44 cards in this deck. It's a 2-piece box. Again, quite a chunky little guidebook that tells you about the animal, tells you about the magic of the animal, gives you symbology, gives you a status, which is a keyword, gives you the myths around it. So it's a really nice little guidebook. And again, this deck with these backs is really lovely. On this one, you've got a keyword and then the name of the animal. So this says Sea Otter Transformation, Lioness Protection, Meerkat Responsibility. I love that idea of being responsible as the lookout. Deer and Power, Goat and Reliability. I really love this deck. I think this is such a fantastic animal oracle. Beaver and Work. Look at this card. Hare and Cycles. Love it. Dolphin and Happiness. So again, you get the idea for this. Look, Elephant Leadership. Lovely, beautiful deck. Like I say, 44 cards in it. It really is a great deck. Another real goodie, tried and tested again in this house. So that's the Divine Animals Oracle by Stacie Demarco. Earlier animal deck that I bought for myself, which the kids have all loved over the last couple of years as well, is this Jodie Bergsma Spirit of the Animals Oracle. This is lovely, really nice guidebook. The cards in here are slightly bigger. This is by US Games. 51 animal spirit cards, 1 personal choice card, and a 116-page illustrated guidebook. The personal choice card is left blank for you to put an animal of your choice on, which I loved because this deck doesn't come with an octopus card. So when I pull that one, I claim it as the octopus. So it might be that there's an animal that your youngster really loves and just isn't in there, so they can always use that. This deck has things like unicorns in, as well as more less mythical creatures, should we say. And again, you don't need to use the guidebook. So you've got the name of the animal, Coyote, its archetype, so a revealer of truth, and then a phrase. So this says, don't take things too seriously, make time to play, great wisdom comes from laughing at your own folly, look out for the traps and tricks of life and learn from them. So there's a nice little message all on the card. So there's a lot to work with on the card. Look, you've got a dragon there, and it's just a really lovely usable oracle, and all of these so far are usable by themselves. Like, it's completely different if you're buying a deck that you will help them to use. All of these can be put in bedrooms and used by themselves. And the thing that the kids love about this Spirit of the Animals oracle is that it comes with a big poster with unicorns on. It's got the unicorn card on and a spread, which would be lovely as a poster, bedroom poster, or just to pull out and use, so the kids have got a spread there ready to use. So that's the Spirit of the Animal oracle, which is a goodie. Okay, another tried and tested animal deck in this house, which gets used at the minute daily. Divine Dog's Wisdom card. These are the backs. Again, it comes with a guidebook, but I don't think we've ever used the guidebook. We just use the messages on the cards, the fantastic expressions of the animals. We chat about the keywords. Oh, well, you're going to have to be active today, so don't give up if something's difficult today. Be lovely to all your friends. And it's just a really beautiful deck. Again, there's, you know, quite a few cards in there. The kids absolutely love it. Mom loves it. I love it too. It's a fantastic deck. So that's the Divine Dog Wisdom cards. Another great animal deck that kids can use all by themselves and love. But affirmation cards as well are lovely to build our kids up. Now, I don't have a lot of affirmation decks. I do have this one. It is a beautiful, beautiful deck. It's The Universe Has Your Back by Gabriella Bernstein. This is a Hay House deck. But it's text-based though, which some kids might respond to. Other kids might not like it as much because it hasn't got all the animals or the pictures. Although each card, you can see, is really different and does either have sort of abstract art on it or pattern work or washes of colour on there. So it's got messages like, I'm unapologetic about what I desire and trust what I focus on will grow, or I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. So, I mean, some of those words for really younger kids might be slightly trickier. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. So I think this is more suited for older kids. Some of them might go over the heads of younger kids. So older teens, I would have thought. It depends on the age of your kids. If you've got an older teen or like a mid-teen affirmation deck like this. However, if your kid is younger or the child that you're buying for is younger, then I think this is tried and tested in this house. A affirmation deck like this. Now, this is Amanda Lovelace, Believe in Your Own Magic. And this is really loved in this house. I mean, for a start, you've got a princess crown on the back. So again, probably girls more than boys. This is all female in this. It's very female centric, and you've either got witches, or you've got princesses, or you've got mermaids in here. I mean, perfect for that sort of energy that kids love. And you've got lovely messages. Again, it can be used without the guidebook. This says, feast, slow down and celebrate yourself. Sundress, do it for you. Throne, your potential is endless. And look, you've got all three categories coming together there. The body diversity in this is beautiful as well. In fact, just diversity full stop in this deck. Stars, you can manifest your every wish. Escapist, come home to yourself. So this is a deck that my girls love. Tilly loves this. I love this. I mean, some of the images in this are just so fantastic. Look at that flower, be honest with yourself. I love that card. Dragons, slay them all. So you've got a child with a disability in that. I love that card. Also these little mini decks. Now I know that there are some really nice affirmation decks in these little mini decks, which are Rockport decks. I have this little Inspired by Frida deck, and Tilly does love this one as well. She'll often ask for a little Frida card to be pulled. Now on the back of the Frida cards you have messages. A lot of these quotes in the Frida deck are about creativity. If you need to repair something, use gold and be creative. See the value in mending. Don't play wishy-washy. Paint the world with your clarity and create with clear ideas and love. So you can see that a lot of these messages, again, probably more for older kids, but nice and simple, especially if you have a creative child in the mix, because a lot of these messages are about creativity. And I'm going to leave a link below to the lovely Masha over at Musings by Masha, who has a brilliant video sharing some more of these mini decks by Rockport that would be fabulous for kids. So go and have a look. Okay, next I want to talk about Jasmine, Beckett, Griffin decks and the Lucy Cavendish. I bought these two decks last Christmas for Poppy, and I've since had them gifted to me. So Poppy has them and I also have them, which we're very, very lucky. Now, the Oracle of the Shapeshifters I'll show you first with these backs. Now, these are lovely, and I'm sharing these in their own category because the artwork is just so appealing for kids. I say for kids because I think it's equally appealing for adults. I mean, I love this artwork, but I think automatically you can see how appealing this looks for kids. But they aren't as, then the messages can run really deep with them as well. So you could just read it from the card, like the Sacred Beetle Armour, you have a mighty shield. Or then you can delve into the book and really push the meaning. So it depends on the age of your child. I think these decks can grow with your kids. I think they are the type of decks that you can interact with on different levels. So they are decks that you're not going to outgrow, and that they will grow with you. The Myths and Mermaids was Poppy's most recent acquisition. Gorgeous turquoise in the box. The books are always really gorgeous with loads of info per card. These are the backs on these mermaid cards. And again, it's the same thing really with this deck as well. You've got great messages and great extension in the guidebook. This deck doesn't have your information on the card. So the mermaid deck, you would have to use the guidebook. But I think if you've got a child that absolutely loves the idea of mermaids, then this is a great one. Now the Oracle of Shadows and Light is again fabulous. These are the backs, but it's slightly more dark, the imagery. It depends how it depends how able to take some of this imagery your kids are. Poppy loves it. Like I said, she was about 12 when she got this deck, but you can see it's a little bit more sort of Saturn-y, sort of Halloween-y. The faces are a little bit more intense. You do get messages on the cards with this one. So this one says, strangely lonely, holding on way too tight. Death and the Maiden, invasion, boundaries violated and dominance. So you can see some of these. Well, this deck wouldn't be okay for little kiddies, but for a mid-teen, especially a mid-teen who loves this type of thing, it might be a good option. So that's the Shadows, the Oracle of Shadows and Light. Not one to buy for a younger kid because I think it might spook them out. so slightly older kid. So of all of these Lucy Cavendish and Jasmine Beckett Griffin decks that I've got, the artwork appealing through all of them, but I think this one, out of the ones I've got, is the one that I think is the most easily accessed for kids. Early morning editing me, I am going to put some links in the description box for videos of other people showing the fairy tale, Jasmine Beckett Griffith's deck, and also the Alice deck as well. I don't have those, can't speak of them, but I'll put links in the description box. Next category is flowers. Now, Poppy has loved this deck as well, which is a Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle deck. But I think you could get any flower deck really, especially one that has these sort of messages on the bottom. And if your child loves flowers or loves the garden or loves being out in nature, this is another option. You can see the message and the guidebook is basically on the card there, and it has been enjoyed in this house. So a flower deck as well might be a good one. I love this one. This is it's 44 cards, and it is by Lisa Estabrook, and it's beautiful. Those are the backs on it. If you want to go down the path of tarot, we do have some options for tarot. This is Poppy's tarot deck. This is mine. Let's look at the fairy one first, because they come with quite a nice chunky little guidebook to expand the message. Plus the backs are gorgeous. Look at that. But these are great because the message is written on the card, so it tells you very clearly what the card is that you've pulled. You have a number and then the message is on there. So the moon, it says powerful, intuitive epiphanies, letting go of worry and fear, understanding the truth of a situation. So if your child is interested in beginning to learn tarot, then these are really nice options, like the Nine of Winter, unfounded fear, focusing on worst case scenarios, allowing worry to grow out of proportion of the problem. So a really nice option. It's also got colour coded cards, so you can easily see what suit you're in. The suits are renamed in this one, so you have spring, summer, winter and autumn for the suits in this one. But it is a really nice option that explains itself as it goes along if you wanted to look at tarot. It's exactly the same thing with the angel tarot cards. It's the same, you've got the same sort of little guidebook. These are the backs. You have got colour coded suits, and you have a number and then the card meaning on the card. So the Eight of Fire says events moving at a fast pace, delays are over, many things happening at once. So these are great decks because it does help you read as you go. The card stock is slightly sticky, that might be an issue. The cards are quite big as well, that might also be an issue for shuffling for little hands, which is the downside of those. But if you wanted a tarot that kids can use themselves, then that's great. Another tarot that I thought might be nice are these inner child cards, a fairy tale tarot. This would be one that you would need to use with the guidebook, but the guidebook is just lovely. See, the guidebook is really big, and you know, you've got a lot of information per card, so you would need to be able to read. Your kids would need to be at the age where they could cope with that amount of reading. If they can, then these cards have got very familiar images to work with. So you've got different fairy tales, like the Wizard of Oz, you've got like magicians and wizards, you've got the big bad wolf. The world card, they might need to look at the book for that. So you've got all of this sort of mythical fairy tale creature. You've got fairies, you've got mermaids, you know, mermaids helping each other, exploring, looking out of the gate. There's the Wizard of Oz and the Yellow Brick Road again. Pirates fighting, mermaids needing help. You've got Sleeping Beauty and the Poppies and magical help coming down. Fairies playing in a garden. Dolphins and mermaids sending gifts to each other. You know, it could be used intuitively, like play in a garden, Mother Goose. So they are images that kids might recognise, like Peter Pan, stories that kids already know, to help them read intuitively. If they don't want to use the guidebook, you could just teach your kids to say, well, what's it telling you? A nice doorway into intuitive reading, and then the guidebook for later, perhaps. I love this deck. Another problem is the cards are very big again, but you know, kids could shuffle on the table if they wanted to, but that might be an issue as well. So, but it's an option. Another tarot deck that I've got, which I also love, and Tilly will often ask for this tarot deck, and it's really affordable, is the Animal Wisdom Tarot by Dawn Brunk. This is it's by Seco Books. It opens up like this. You've got the guidebook here and the cards kind of piled in. I've said on my channel before that it blows me away how accurate it is, and I've had other people agree. Now, the style of the artwork, I think, is would appeal to kids. I really think it would. And although it's not got the meanings on the cards, the guidebook is really lovely. So let me show you the guidebook. It's really easy to find. You've got a big colour card illustrated in the book so the kids know they're in the right place. And literally you can go with the keynote words or just the message at the bottom. See, that's the message there. So for the goat, it says, embrace your shadow, liberate your life, which is the devil card. If we went for the spider, sacred spinner, the message, which is really easy to find on the page, says, see the larger picture as you consciously create your destiny. So you could literally just read the message, or just go for the key words, which are at the start of the page. Fate, karma, luck, cycles, change. So easy to find the keywords, easy to find the message. All of this can come later. So it is usable with the guidebook. And I just think these images on these cards are lovely and would be really lovely for kids. These are the backs. So that is the Animal Wisdom Tarot, a really affordable, accurate, pretty little tarot. And of course, more normal card sizes on those to use. I have one more tarot to share, which I don't know how I'm going to share it, because I bought it for myself for my birthday, which is tomorrow. So I didn't really want to look at the cards till tomorrow. But this was marketed as tarot for all ages. So a tarot deck that could be easily read for whatever age you are. That's how it's been marketed. It is beautiful. Look, I haven't even taken it out of this. Let me just show you. You can see the backs through there. Normal size cards, quite thick cardstock though. So again, shuffling might be a problem. But the box is really easy to access for kiddies. What I'll do, I will flick through the guidebook because I don't want to spoil my birthday present for tomorrow. So you've got cards that look like this. So you haven't got keywords or anything on the cards. You've got minors that look like this. So the minors are slightly more pippish, but they're sort of illustrated pips with the meaning built into the pip card. They're not quite as detailed as the majors. It says at the beginning of this book, so to make it easier for kids, some of the majors have been renamed. So the Hanged Man has become Surrender. The Lovers has shifted to Unity. The King, Queen, Knight and Page have become the Sage, Guardian, Steward and Apprentice. It says whether you're just starting out on your tarot journey or have some experience, Tarot for all ages will teach itself to you. So I think that it is marketed as a deck for kids, and each card has a little page like that. So that is an option to look at. Marketed as a tarot for all ages, I can't give a proper in-depth review. I can just throw it in the mix for you to search probably somewhere else, because I don't want to spoil my birthday present. So that's an option. So finally, we've got the oddball section. Now, one of these decks I bought because I saw it online, and I knew that Tilly really wanted to own her own deck as well, just to flick through cards. And I saw these angel cards for children by Diana Cooper online. Super cheap these were. Not quite sure what they were. I haven't seen a walkthrough anywhere, so I ordered them, and Tilly loves them, and she has been nagging me to do a review of these cards. Now, the backs are gorgeous. Look, these are the backs. Love those backs. Now, I haven't done a review of these because I'm not too sure of angels. I struggle with angels a little bit, but I just knew Tilly would love these. So you get messages like this. So ask your angel to sing to you while you sleep. Say to yourself, my angel makes me happy. When you talk to angels, they always listen. Say to yourself, my angels are listening to me. Kindness. Be kind to someone today, and your angel will bring something good for you too. Say to yourself, I like being kind. Now, some of these messages I'm not sure about, because you know, it's good just to be kind without anything coming back, and sometimes you're not going to get anything back. So in a sense, your angel reminds you that when grown-ups are grumpy, it's not your fault. Say to yourself, it is not my fault. See some of these messages. Share with others today so that your angels can share with you. Say to yourself, when I share, more comes to me. Again, it's a bit give to get, isn't it? But if you think that your child is just going to flick through these and love the pictures and just look at the picture really and go, oh, a hug from an angel, you know, I'm special and I've got friends, to be grateful for something, then great. But like I said, this deck, it's good for that. Tilly does love it, but I've got some issues about some of the messages in this deck. I mean, these are lovely. Look, your angel thinks you are beautiful. Say to yourself, I am beautiful. And smiles. When you smile at someone, your angel smiles at you. Say to yourself, I feel good when I smile. So I love some of the messages. Some I'm not quite so sure about. Like, you're never alone. Your angel is always with you. So it all depends. I mean, you could get I think it was literally like £2, this deck, new online. So you could always get it, vet it, take out the ones you don't want, but it's another option. And then other things we use, free top trumps cards. You can use things like this. I mean, this is literally like a deck of cards, and you can pull a card and use it for divination. You know, speed up, go and play in grass, work hard and don't fight with your siblings. Sing a song, listen more carefully, don't be scared. I think this was free. It might even have been a McDonald's toy in a McDonald's meal, but you can start putting collections together of things like this, and even sit with your kid and write the keywords on that you think would apply. I mean, it might be a really fun activity to make a deck. This is another made deck. It's just in an Amazon gift bag. But these are all of Tilly's LOL surprise bag trump cards. So there's all sorts of trump cards in here. And these can be used for, you know, divination. You know, sleeping, get some more sleep. You know, like, don't forget you're a star. You are a star. You could put affirmations on these with your kids. Say, what does that say to you? And write it on for them. Your little court champ, how are you a champ? And put it on there. The Splash Queen, how do you make a splash? The Boss Queen, how are you the boss? So basically, I think what I'm saying is anything that comes with a card can be collected up and put in a bag and turned into a deck that just keeps building and building and building over time in a free Amazon gift bag. And it's something that you could build with your kids rather than just having all these cards, which are adorable, and throw them away. I've not done this with those, even though I have crept into Tilly's room and pulled an LOL card for myself. But this is something that I've been thinking about for a while, and I just think it would be a lovely way to build a deck. And of course, these packs, you can get the boys packs as well, with boys toys on there if you've got a boy, and like literally start making a handmade deck with them. I think that would be lovely. So I hope that's helped. Those are some ideas for decks for kids, tarot for kids, oracles for kids, handmade decks for kids. It's a lovely world to be in. My kids love playing with the cards with me. I love it as well. I hope that's been helpful. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.